Tampa, rich in pro wrestling history, was all set to finally host WrestleMania in 2020, and then COVID hits. Would Tampa ever get to showcase its city, county, and facilities for the Super Bowl of pro wrestling? Well, Tampa now gets a second chance to make a first impression hosting WrestleMania 37. Yes, Drew McIntyre, this is awesome news. April 10th and 11th at Raymond James Stadium, also home to that other Super Bowl. The NFL's version in February. Hey, who better to talk WrestleMania Tampa than WWE Champ Drew McIntyre? So, Drew, I have to start off by asking, any chance, because WrestleMania 37 will be in Tampa, that you'll be able to score a couple of Super Bowl tickets?
That's a good question. I never actually thought to ask, because only the past couple of years I've started kind of watching football a little more closely, and especially this season. Like, I've lived here for 13 years in the Tampa St. Pete area, and the Bucs have never been particularly good, so I've never really paid attention. This year they've been doing a lot better. I'm aware who Tom Brady is. The only player I knew before that was like Dan Marino and John Madden. So I'm excited to start paying closer attention to this year. I really paid close attention to that Saints game with Tampa, with Drew Brees and Tom Brady playing against each other. I understood the significance of that game, really got wrapped up in it, and it's cool that the Bucs were able to actually win. And then this Sunday, the big game with the Packers, I believe, and like another legendary quarterback, Rodgers and Brady playing against each other. Yeah, so see, I'm picking it up, and it's an exciting time to be following it. And if Tampa can go all the way to the Super Bowl, I might try and wangle my way in there to watch my first one ever. I want to see the commercials, though. That's what I want to see. Like, my favorite thing about the Super Bowl is those commercials. So I need to record them at home if I watch it live.
That's part of the mystique of that Super Bowl. You're right. It's the commercial watching, because they come out with some of the best commercials. It's a whole nother spectacle within a big football game spectacle. But it's so much fun. Hey, but Drew, it's so funny too, because last year's WrestleMania 36, Tampa Bay Buccaneers tight end now, Gronk, Rob Gronkowski, former 24/7 champion, was your host. I'm just curious. Did you get to meet Gronk? What was it like working with Gronk at all during that time? And what did you think about his 24/7 title run, short-lived as it was?
Yeah, I mean, he seemed like a nice guy, like a lot of energy. That was the biggest thing I got from him. The funny thing is, one of his best friends is one of our WWE superstars, Mojo Rawley. And Mojo is just nonstop, just constant energy. To watch those two together, I was like, my goodness. I can only spend so much time around that much energy, or I think they suck everyone else's energy to feed their own, because they're both such larger than life characters. So I can only do a little bit of time with them, then I have to step away, recharge my batteries, and come back again. But yeah, he was very excited to be part of things. You know, he's a big fan. He's friends with Mojo, and it was cool having him part of the show, and it's cool to see him back, you know, doing what he does on the football field.
And maybe we can get him and Tom Brady involved in WrestleMania 37. Who knows?
Yeah, they come and get in the champ's corner. I don't know the plans yet. I do know that I've not had the chance to walk out in front of a live crowd yet with this WWE Championship by my side and raise it in front of fans for the first time. So if they want to be part of that moment where I walk in front of that crowd for the first time, raise that title up, that's, you know, but the invitation's there for them.
What is it like? Because last year was such a phenomenal event, though, too. It went 2 nights, and we see the 2-night format return for this year. And if we get those fans, it'll be so much different. You had a big win over Brock Lesnar, a main event style win. Now this year, looking forward to defending the title, get past whatever you need to get past WrestleMania with fans. How important is it for you to do that with fans?
So important. Last year, I think we've talked about it before. Like, it's the biggest moment of my career, you know, winning the title at WrestleMania, even though there was nobody there. You know, it was the only game in town, the only escape during the height of the pandemic. The whole world was watching. We had 14 million social media interactions over 2 days, up 60% from the year prior. So much positive feedback, and I gave them that happy ending when I won the title. So even though there was nobody there, it was such a special moment. Nonetheless, it is pretty cool. We get a round 2. I wouldn't change a thing about last year, but we get a round 2 in Florida where I get the opportunity, hopefully, if I can retain this title against Goldberg at the Royal Rumble, continue through to WrestleMania and get to walk out in front of the fans and basically say I've managed to hold this title for a year straight, aside 3 weeks where Randy Orton beat me for the title and I won it back. I've held this title just so I could stand here in front of you all and say we're back as WWE Champion.
you've had an incredible year, and you had a little bit of a setback. And then we heard on Monday Night Raw you're going to be returning. Physically, how are things going? Because you're in such good shape, did that help you too in just trying to overcome COVID and get through it?
Yeah, I mean, by the sound of things, it's so different how it affects everybody. I've been lucky in the sense that I've been asymptomatic and not had any nasty side effects that a lot of people, my family, friends, and other people have had. The thing I'm most grateful for is, WWE's testing policy and catching it before I was able to pass it to any other superstars who would maybe pass it to one of their family members in the high risk category. So, I'm grateful we caught it before anything like that would happen. WWE's always been top of things from a safety perspective, and it keeps me at home for a couple of weeks, but I'm happy to do that. I cut my promos from home, and for everyone out there, like I said on Raw, I've been wearing the mask, I've been socially distancing, and my wife and I never leave the house, and I still got it. So anybody can catch it, I assure you. So keep following those guidelines. That's the only way we're going to get rid of this thing.
Hey, you mentioned Goldberg and the Royal Rumble. Yes, sir. And then steering toward WrestleMania 37 Tampa. So what are your thoughts of Goldberg's in phenomenal shape? Just him continuing to do what he does, and you it almost seems like you're the one that has to prove yourself. I don't know if you think that. I'm saying that myself. Goldberg has done what he's done. You've done tremendous so far. But is it almost like you have something to prove more than he does, or no?
Absolutely. I'm carving my legacy right now, and people will look back at 2020 and the pandemic, and when things got really tough, who stepped up for wrestling and the wrestling fans, and hopefully my name will be close to the top of that list as Drew McIntyre really stepped it up, really started carving his legacy in unknown times and continued right through until the fans were back, staying on top of the mountain. And it's keeping the fans engaged. It's overcoming huge obstacles that is going to keep me climbing and climbing to the top of the ever never-ending mountain as far as I'm concerned. Every time I get to the top, I build a new ledge and I'll climb up there. And Goldberg's just another step as far as I'm concerned in creating my legacy. He's somebody that's had an unbelievable career, Hall of Famer. My brother and I, as I mentioned on Raw the other week, literally watched him as kids dominate. Everybody in WCW got excited every week, flicking between WWE and WCW to try and find the Goldberg match because it was only going to last like 2 minutes when he was going to run through somebody. I remember making myself in the video game and fighting Goldberg in the video games. Cut to over 20 years later, I'm now WWE champion in real life, fighting real life Goldberg, who, as you say, keeps himself in great shape. Had a little joke at his expense, told him you might want to do this. I got respect for you, even though he thought otherwise. And but like fighting my dad, and he shoved me to the ground, and I got back up, got in his face. But I saw that look in his eyes. Like, I don't think he believed anything he said about the respect stuff because it's nonsense. Everyone knows I respect this more than anybody. I've defended the legends against the legend killer. That's how much I respect the legends. I don't think even he believed that crap. But when he shoved me to the ground, when I insulted him, that look in his eye was the real Goldberg. That's what I wanted the Royal Rumble. That's what I know he's going to bring to the Royal Rumble because I want to beat the real Goldberg.
Hey, champ, do you have a jackhammer and a spear in your arsenal?
Absolutely. If you think like I can't jackhammer Goldberg, you got another thing coming. Like he's gonna, if he try it, basically I've got a few counters up my sleeve. Like namely, he likes to run really fast at people, and I will stand in the corner, wait, just move. And then if he tries to go for the jackhammer, I'm quick on the draw. He hooks that thing and takes a second to look around like he does. He'll be going straight up. Like I'm not just big and strong, I'm lightning quick.
Hey, that's some more of your attributes that you bring to the ring. It's so interesting when you think about WrestleMania and the spectacle, and WrestleMania 37 will be in Tampa, and it's 2 nights. How do you like this 2-night format? I really like the 2-night format. What are your thoughts of it?
Yeah, I like it a lot. Last year I think it was created just because of the nature of the times we're in right now, and rather than just one night of WrestleMania, it gave the fans a whole weekend to look forward to. Like, oh, my Saturday's covered, my Sunday's covered. I got WrestleMania weekend, and it's the same this year. Taking it over 2 days because of the times we live in, and maybe we'll go back to the original format of one night, but. Honestly, I love the idea of WrestleMania weekend. I think sometimes 7 hours is a bit much for the performers. If you're on match number 23 or something, like Roman Reigns and I were a couple of years ago, the crowd get tired after about the 4th or 5th or 6th hour. And like they're going to stay there. They're going to love every second of it. But if you could break that up over 2 days, they've got an entire weekend to look forward to, going to the 2 shows back to back, maybe just one night. They pick their night, and the fans at home have got a whole weekend to look forward to. And I love the idea of 2 nights.
I think I know the answer, and we probably talked about this before, so I'm hoping to get a little more insight and humor with this. What is one of the positives of having WrestleMania at Raymond James Stadium in Tampa, where someone lives?
It's down the street. 15 minutes is great. It's like Tropicana right now. It's even closer to Tropicana than the Raymond James Stadium. It's 10 minutes that way. So I just drive out the driveway. Sometimes I get the wife to drop me off. It's like going to school or something. She just drops me off. I'm a little sandwich. I go to school for the day. I come back out. Wife, she picks me back up, takes me back home. That's how close I am to work right now. And for getting round to at Raymond James, like last year, I thought I would get the luxury of driving there. I didn't. I had to drive 2 hours to the Performance Center. It's still only 2 hours. But this year, I'm looking forward to that 15-minute drive to Raymond James Stadium.
Hey, champ, I'm thinking you could just go and jog there. You're in great shape.
Oh, nonsense. I don't like running on hard surfaces. Anything that preserves my joints. I'm 35, but I've been wrestling for 20 years, so I go easy. Anything that can possibly hurt my joints in any way, I don't do.
Can you give any recommendations to fans traveling of any good spots to go eat while they're in the Tampa area?
Ooh, that's a good question. See, the wife and I never really leave the house. Like we're custom built for a pandemic, but we do get a lot of Uber Eats. Like we've been to like a few restaurants. So if you're going to check out somewhere, I know many a time, things will be, a lot safer than they are now. There's like Ocean Prime is a really nice place. Eddie V's is a very nice place we've checked out. Where else we got? Most places that I can recommend now are more nature trails. There's a lot of nice walking trails if you want to go out and kind of see some sights. We got married at the Sunken Gardens in St. Petersburg, which we live real close to. It's a really cool garden. If you want to get out with nature, that kind of stuff I love doing. If you're coming to the bars to get drunk, it's Tampa. You can find anything you want in Tampa. It's mental.
Hey, St. Pete, you're right about St. Pete. It's just beautiful scenery over there, and it's not far from the Tampa area at all. Okay, we're going to wrap this up. Hey, did you, and if you can't pull the curtain back, that's okay, but I'm going to ask anyway. Did you get a heads up about the WrestleMania schedule ahead of time, or did you have to find out, like the rest of us, from the breaking news report from Henry E. Pankey and Anita Reelman?
I always say, no matter what I find out in advance, nothing's official till it's official in WWE. I've been winning more matches that I can count when I was a kid that never actually happened, and heard things that never materialized. So it's irrelevant what I know in advance. Until it's official, it's not official. But it was pretty cool seeing that SNL style skit everybody did. The only thing I regretted was I was like, I wonder if I was going to be part of that. And I just, unfortunately, I wasn't at work that week because I would love to have been a part of that. And unlike Roman, I wouldn't have said, I'm going to be myself. I will not change my name. I'd be any character. I'd play the silliest character possible. I love the chance to step outside the box.
Hey, what do you think, too, about the international fans? Hopefully, maybe they'll be allowed. We don't know. We don't know travel restrictions, but you, from your background and all, at least they're going to be able to watch the show. But are you hopeful maybe they're going to be able to get back? If not now, next year in Dallas or the year after at SoFi Stadium in Hollywood, LA?
Yeah, I mean, I really hope by next year we're able to have like a full-fledged WrestleMania. If not, I am in Texas next year and certainly in LA the following year. But for Tampa this year, it would mean a lot to me personally to see things starting to get back to normal and open up, and our international fans to get the chance to come be here live, because they're just as passionate as American fans. Our fans are worldwide. WWE's global. It's such a big company. Our fans have not had the chance to get to a live show in such a long time. They're chomping at the bit. It's Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory golden ticket situation. There's going to be so few tickets, and I hope people around the world have the opportunity to get one of those golden tickets, travel across the world, and get to be part of it. And for me personally, I want my family to be able to come from Scotland and be part of WrestleMania and see how far I've come since last time I've been part of a live show.
Well, Drew McIntyre, what a great champion you are. What a great representative you are. So glad for you and the successes you're having. Keep doing what you're doing. Stay safe, stay healthy. Royal Rumble coming up, then WrestleMania Tampa. 2 nights. It'll be awesome. Thanks as always for your time.
No, thank you, buddy. Always appreciate your time. We'll do this again very soon. And when things get a little more normal, one day we'll do this in person.